Listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because there is a lot of confusion out there right now, and seniors deserve the truth, not fear, not rumors, just clear facts that protect your peace of mind. Breaking news just came in. President Trump signed a new executive order, and the White House has finally confirmed something millions of Americans have been waiting to hear. And the question everyone keeps asking me is simple. Are we actually getting $2,000 dividend checks? I'm going to give you the facts straight up. I spent hours reading through every statement, watching the signing ceremony, and going through the president's Truth Social post so you don't have to. And I'm going to tell you exactly what this means for your wallet, who may qualify, and what seniors should realistically expect over the next few weeks. Before we jump in, please tap the like button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps more seniors get accurate information instead of rumors. And make sure you're subscribed, because this situation is changing fast and you deserve updates you can trust. Now, let's take a deep breath and sort through what actually happened. Here's the first thing I want you to know clearly. Yes, President Trump did sign a new executive order. But the executive order he signed was not the order that sends out $2,000 checks. And this is where many people have gotten confused. The executive order he signed was focused on helping teenagers in the foster care system, a compassionate step, but not connected to any kind of payment for seniors or working families. I know many of you saw the headlines mixing the two stories together, and when that happens, people understandably panic. So let me gently separate the two for you. The signing ceremony you may have seen was real, but it had nothing to do with the dividend payments. The payment discussion came from somewhere else entirely. Trump's public statements and his Truth Social post promising at least $2,000 for low and middle-income Americans. And that is the part we need to focus on. That is the message the White House confirmed. My goal right now is to make this simple, calm, and clear, because you shouldn't have to sift through political noise just to understand whether help is truly on the way. Now let's talk about the part that has everyone on edge, the $2,000 dividend checks. This conversation didn't start with Congress or with an official bill. It started directly with President Trump himself. Over the weekend, he made a very direct promise on Truth Social, saying that his administration plans to issue a dividend payment of at least $2,000 per person using money collected from tariffs. And the White House confirmed it. They didn't soften it. They didn't walk it back. They said this is something the administration is actively working on. But here's what matters most, and I want to say this slowly so it lands gently. This payment is targeted specifically for low and middle-income Americans. Not high earners, not large corporations, not wealthy families, everyday people. People who are feeling the rising cost of groceries, prescriptions, rent, and utilities. People living on Social Security. People living on disability. People working part-time just to keep up. People just like you. Trump said very clearly that this dividend would go to U.S. citizens only and to those who are not in the high-income brackets. That right there tells us two things. This is meant to help the households who are actually struggling, and it gives us our first clue about who may qualify. And as someone who spent over a decade helping seniors protect their financial stability, I can tell you, targeted payments like this usually come with income limits. That's why this next part is so important to understand. Let's talk about who is likely to qualify if this moves forward. Trump didn't list an exact income cutoff in his post, but we do have something reliable to look at. Not long ago, Senator Josh Hawley proposed a tariff dividend plan that Trump supported, and that plan used a $100,000 income limit. Anyone earning $100,000 or less was included. Anyone earning above that was phased out. So if we use that previous proposal as a guide, the most realistic expectation today is this. If you make under $100,000 a year, you're likely in the qualifying range. If you earn well above that, you're probably not included. That applies to seniors too. If you're living on Social Security, you're almost certainly under the threshold. If you're receiving SSDI, you're under it. If you're a veteran living on disability or a modest pension, you're under it. If you're a retired couple with a small combined income, you're under it. And Trump was very clear about citizenship. Payments would go to U.S. citizens only. That means seniors living here legally but not citizens are in a gray area. So while nothing is finalized yet, the best early picture we have is this. Low and middle income seniors, especially those on fixed income, are at the center of this proposal. And if it moves forward, they stand to benefit the most. Now that we've covered who is likely to qualify, let's talk about where this money is actually supposed to come from, because this is the part most people misunderstand. President Trump has repeatedly pointed to tariff revenue as the funding source. In simple terms, tariffs are taxes placed on imported goods, things like steel, cars, medications, electronics, and many everyday items the U.S. brings in from other countries. When those tariffs are collected, that money goes into the government's revenue pool. According to the administration, the amount being collected right now is substantial. The big idea behind this dividend proposal is to take a portion of that tariff money and redirect it straight to the American people instead of letting it disappear into general government spending. If you've ever heard of the Alaska Permanent Fund, where Alaskans receive yearly checks from oil revenue, this is a similar concept, except on a national scale and funded by tariffs instead of energy. Trump has framed it as a way to share the financial benefits of tariff revenue with the very people who are feeling the burden of rising prices. And for seniors living on fixed income, I can understand why this idea is appealing. The cost of basic necessities has gone up sharply: groceries, utilities, medications, and it often rises faster than Social Security. A dividend payment funded by tariff revenue would feel like breathing room for many households. But before we get too hopeful, I want to gently guide you into the next important truth. Even if the money exists on paper, it cannot reach your bank account unless certain steps happen first. And this is where many people get confused, so let's break it down simply. One of the biggest questions I'm being asked right now is, Susan, when are the checks coming? And I wish I could give you a date. I truly do. But here's the honest, calm, straightforward truth. No official timeline has been announced. Not by Congress, not by the Treasury, not by the president's team. Trump has said the payments are coming real soon. But we need to understand what that means in government terms. To send out money to millions of Americans, a formal mechanism must be established. That usually means one of two things. Either Congress passes legislation authorizing the payments, or the administration finds a legally approved pathway through the Treasury or IRS. That hasn't happened yet. And until it does, these $2,000 payments remain a confirmed intention, not a finished program. So here's the realistic timeline. If everything moves quickly, we could be looking at several weeks to a couple of months. If things slow down, it could take longer. I want you to hear this gently, because it's important for your peace of mind. Please don't count on this money for immediate bills. Don't skip a payment, don't delay a prescription, and don't make financial decisions based on something that hasn't been officially scheduled yet. Think of it as a potential blessing on the horizon, not guaranteed income. I'm here to keep you grounded and informed because you deserve clarity, not empty promises. Now let's talk about what these payments could actually mean for you if they are approved, because this is the part that touches real lives, especially seniors living on fixed income. For many of the seniors I work with, every month feels like a careful balancing act. Prices rise, but Social Security rarely rises with them, at least not fast enough. Grocery bills have climbed higher than anything I've seen in my decade of helping retirees. Prescription costs bite into budgets. Electricity bills have jumped in several states. And when you're living on a fixed amount, every increase feels personal. So a $2,000 dividend check wouldn't just be extra money, it would feel like relief. For many Social Security recipients, it could mean catching up on medical expenses that keep getting pushed aside. It could cover a month of prescription costs or fill the gap left by rising insurance deductibles. For disabled seniors on SSDI, this could be 2 months of careful budgeting suddenly becoming easier. For veterans living on disability or modest pensions, it could help with rising rent or mortgage payments. For single seniors or widows who have no one else to rely on, this could be a safety cushion they haven't felt in years. These are not small things. These are the types of burdens that keep seniors awake at night. And while this payment isn't guaranteed yet, the possibility of genuine relief is why so many people are watching this story so closely. And as someone who deeply cares about your financial security, I completely understand why. But before we get too hopeful, I want to give you the gentle reality check you deserve, because my job is not just to keep you informed, but to keep you grounded and protected. Even though President Trump has publicly committed to this idea, and even though the White House has confirmed it's being worked on, we are still in the early stage. That means nothing has been finalized. Congress hasn't approved anything yet, no payment system has been set up, no official distribution plan has been released. And whenever there's uncertainty, scammers rush in. So please hear this clearly. You do not need to sign up anywhere. You do not need to pay a fee. You do not need to enter your bank information on any website. If anyone calls, emails, or messages you saying they can register you for a $2,000 payment, it is a scam. Every single one. Please protect yourself. I've seen far too many seniors fall victim to scams because they were simply hopeful and trusted the wrong source. And I don't ever want that to happen to you. Until Congress passes something official, this payment should be viewed as a possibility, not a certainty. That's the calm, honest truth. And sometimes the truth is the most caring thing we can give each other. While we wait for more clarity, I want to gently walk you through what you can do right now to protect yourself and stay prepared, without stressing, without guessing, and without relying on money that isn't officially approved yet. The first step is simply staying informed, but doing it in a way that doesn't overwhelm you. There are so many loud voices online, so many videos designed to scare you or promise things that aren't real. You don't need that. You need calm, truthful updates from someone who genuinely cares about your financial peace of mind. So keep listening to reliable sources, avoid sensational headlines, and don't let anyone rush you into decisions. The second thing you can do right now is take a quiet moment to think about your eligibility. If you make under $100,000 a year, you are likely within the range that this proposal is built around. If you are a U.S. citizen, you meet that core requirement Trump mentioned directly. And if you're living on Social Security, SSDI, VA benefits, or a modest retirement income, then this proposal was essentially aimed at people in your situation. None of this guarantees anything yet, but it helps give you a sense of where you stand if the program moves forward. The third step, and this part is actually very important, is making sure your information with the IRS is current. If you moved recently, set up direct deposit, changed a last name, or haven't filed taxes in a few years, take a moment to update your details. In every previous round of stimulus or federal payments, the IRS was the distribution system. So keeping your information updated is simply a smart way to stay prepared. And finally, I want to encourage you to look at programs that are already available right now. Sometimes we get so focused on the possibility of a future payment that we forget there are resources we can access today. If you need help with groceries, SNAP is available in every state. If your heating or electric bill is overwhelming you, LIHEAP can help. If you're struggling with rent or facing rising utility costs, many states offer senior relief programs. Medicare savings programs can reduce your Part B premium or help with prescription costs. These are real, active programs, not promises, and I've guided many seniors through them successfully. You don't have to wait for Congress to take care of yourself. There are steps you can take right now to ease some of the pressure you're feeling. And I'm here to remind you of that gently, without judgment, and always with compassion. As we start winding down, I want to leave you with something soft, steady, and reassuring because financial uncertainty can be heavy, especially when you're living on a fixed income and trying to stretch every dollar with dignity. No matter what happens with these proposed dividend checks, you are not alone in this. Millions of seniors across the country are feeling the same pressure, asking the same questions, and hoping for the same clarity. And I want you to know that I'm here, walking through this right alongside you. If this video helped you understand what's really happening behind the headlines, I'm glad. That's why I do this, to give you calm, honest information in a world full of noise. If you found this helpful, please tap the like button. It helps more seniors get accurate updates instead of confusion. And if you feel comfortable, share this with someone who might be feeling anxious right now. Sometimes the gift of clarity is the greatest comfort we can offer each other. And before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one money question or concern that keeps you up at night? Leave it in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel a little less alone. Take care of yourself, and I'll be right here with the next update as soon as something official changes.